That's all good. Good evening, esteemed families. On behalf of St Brigid's College, I extend a warm welcome to each of you for our Enrolment Information Evening. My name, obviously, is Inderley. I'm a Vice Captain here at St Brigid's, and joining me tonight is our School Captain, Tom. We would like to acknowledge by acknowledging the traditional owners and custodians of the land on which we meet today, the Wotjobaluk, Wagaya, Yapagulp, Jabwa and Jabwa people. We also pay our respects to their elders, past, present and emerging.
Hello everyone, my name is Tom Luke, as Inderley mentioned. I'm one of the college captains in 2024. At St. B's, whenever we gather, we begin with a prayer, so I would ask you all to join me for a prayer. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, Amen. Father, thank you for the opportunity to gather here today. You are the way, the truth and the light. I ask you to guide us on the path to new beginnings with your love, protection and mercy. Allow us to share your love to others as we begin a new journey. Thank you, Father, for your love and guidance. Amen. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Here at St. B's, you often hear us refer to the motto, strength and gentleness. Together, strength and gentleness acknowledges the importance of both resilience, determination, and empathy in navigating life's challenges and fostering meaningful connections with others. It emphasizes the idea that true strength is not just about power or dominance, but also about how one treats others with kindness and compassion.
Within our school community, teachers and members of our staff go out of their way to get to know us as an individual, recognising both our strengths and weaknesses, to help create a supportive learning and growing environment. Here at St Brigid's, each of us feel known, welcome and understood by our teachers who give us the confidence to move out of our comfort zone. Our school consistently has competitions available for students to participate in, as well as new groups, clubs and extracurricular activities, such as the upcoming school debate team. As a part of St Brigid's, we feel a strong sense of connection within our school community, which will have a lasting impact on academic and personal success. The personal connections we make during our time here certainly are not to be forgotten, and the sense of belonging and opportunities for growth both you and your children will find here at St Brigid's is really quite like no other.
If you are considering enrolling your child or children here at St Brigid's College, we both strongly encourage you to do so. Here at St B's, we can assure you with confidence that your child will be supported in their academic and personal growth, with access to a range of opportunities to assist them in fulfilling their potential. I'll now pass over to our college principal, Mr. Raven. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks very much. Thanks, Inderley. Look, this evening's information session is so much to impart. We're not going to get through it all tonight. It's going to be a mile wide and an inch deep. So if you have further questions after tonight, there'll be staff hanging around at the end. You can certainly approach the staff. Once you've read through the prospectus, you can read the section and they'll be able to answer the questions. So we'll only give you a little snapshot tonight of what we've got to offer. So obviously, St Brigid's is a Catholic school, and we certainly don't. We're not looking for our students are not Catholic. Certainly, but we believe the values that we have are certainly values highly regarded by any of the important part of who we are. And we believe that our formation is a question of fulfilment of life. Really, that's what we want to say is fulfilment of life. We want to life. How has learning changed since the 21st century? That's obviously what our challenge is to look at. You can see that 100 years ago, some schools you go to, it still looks the same. So education, what are the things that we need to do to address the 21st century skills which are required? It's certainly a challenge here for us in Horsham, in the Wimmera, but increasingly we're becoming international. We're playing in an international field, and your sons and daughters will be doing jobs which haven't even been created yet. It's scary, but it's exciting at the same time. By the time your sons and daughters graduate from St Brigid's, there will be jobs which do not exist yet. Last month I went to the EduLead conference in Singapore, and the focus was on artificial intelligence and how artificial intelligence is going to be disruptive but also an equaliser for all industries, not just education, but certainly artificial intelligence is going to have a strong impact on education. And the key takeaway I had from that conference is it said artificial intelligence is not going to take your job, but somebody who knows how to use artificial intelligence will. So part of our responsibility is to develop the skills, the 21st century skills. You probably can't read that, but things such as analytical thinking, okay, that's transferable across a number of different industries. Active learning, so we're lifelong learners. We never stop learning, and hopefully our staff and myself demonstrate that to the students. Problem solving, critical thinking and analysis, creativity, and you can see all of those things. We believe in this beautiful building that we're in here tonight, the STEAM building, we can provide opportunities for your students to develop those skills. How are we best preparing your students for the year 2032? As I've said a few times on the tour, if those people there, I apologise for repeating myself, but they're just a few of our key statistics there. We've got 3 houses, 9 homerooms. We're a small school and your students are known. No one falls through the cracks here at St. Bees. I'll now hand over, that's just me, I'll be back on a bit later, and you haven't heard the last of me unfortunately for you. I'll be back on a bit later, but I'll hand over now to our Leader of Learning and Teaching, Luke Werner, to give you a little bit of information about our learning program. Thanks, Luke.
All right, thank you, Jared. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about some of the programs that we run here at St. Brigid's. So in terms of our staffing, we're a professional learning community, which means that we support each other in what we're trying to achieve for our students. So in terms of staffing, we will work in our professional learning teams where we support each other in the development of curriculum, assessment tasks, providing feedback to our students. We work in small teams and groups to do that as staff, which hopefully then equates to better outcomes for our students here at St. Brigid's. In terms of what our learning and teaching looks like here, we have personalised learning plans for each of our students. So we gather information from primary schools as students transition across to St. Brigid's, and we use that data and information to help get an understanding of our students. So as Mr. Avon mentioned, every student is known and we want to get the best outcomes for our students, and knowing our students really well is important. As well as getting that information, we also do some programs here in Term 1 at the start of Year 7 that help give us an indication of students that may need additional support or may need extension in the classroom. So in terms of learning support, students are provided with additional needs in terms of our learning support officers, so LSOs who work in our classrooms and work with individual students or work with small groups of students. So if students need that additional support, that is provided by our LSOs as well as our teachers. And for those students that need extension, we have a number of programs that we run as well. So students have the opportunity to be involved in competitions. They can be involved in extension programs. So at the moment we have Year 9 students that are doing a maths extension program. And at our senior end, we have university places that, or courses that students can also be a part of. So we try and provide those opportunities for our students as well as assisting those that need that support. And as I mentioned, knowing our students is really important. So we will use a lot of data as teaching staff to help guide us in what we need to teach in terms of the curriculum, what our students need, and how best to support our students at each year level. This talks a little bit about our senior school, so probably not as important right now as you make the decision to come to St. Brigid's, but at the senior end of school, we try and offer as many subjects as we can to our students, so it gives them the best opportunity for when they leave St. Brigid's to get into whatever field they wish to. So our programs such as the VCE, VCE, VM, VET, but other pathways that run as well, are something that we work with students from Year 7 right through to Year 12. So even though students may be a few years off completing their VCE, some of the elective programs that they choose may help get an indication of that if that's a field they'll follow. So at year 7, students will come on board and they get a bit of a taste of everything. So the tour group that I just took around, I mentioned a few times that students will do woodwork or art subjects or PE or health. They get a bit of an idea of some of the subjects and courses that we run here at St Brigid's. And from year 8, they have the opportunity to choose electives. So we have our year 8 and 9 elective program, which offers a number of subjects across a number of different academic areas. And we also have year 10 elective programs as well. And when students reach that senior pathways program in year 11 and 12, hopefully they've had a bit of a taste or gained some knowledge on different areas. There would be subjects and topics and things that students probably aren't aware of in the junior years, and then they get to senior school and realise they've got that opportunity. For us, it's important that students know what opportunities they have in terms of their pathways going forward. Our careers teacher, so Mrs. Leslie Lannon, she runs interviews with year 10, 11 and 12 students that involve our parents. So they're informed of decisions that students are making in terms of subject selection or their pathway they're going to follow. But we also run programs for our 7, 8 and 9 students as well. So they start to get a bit of a taste of some of those things as they move through school. We've had a number of our students leave St Brigid's with different applications to universities in terms of their first and second round and being successful in getting those courses. This is just a small handful of some of those courses they've got into. But we also acknowledge that university is not always an option for our students. So we want to have well-rounded students, so for when they leave St Brigid's, that they are able to go into a workplace and demonstrate employability skills that employers want to see, that they show respect, that they show up on time, and all of those different skills that employers are looking for. So that's something that we work with our students a lot within our pathways programs, but we've had students go into different apprenticeships, traineeships, and gain employment straight out of school. So we want the best for our students in terms of the opportunities that we provide them, and we feel like providing students with some choice really early on in their secondary schooling allows them to get a bit of a taste and understanding of what they might want to do when they leave school. I'm not sure of the statistics, but it's something like you'll have 10 jobs now when you leave school. So providing all of those options and different opportunities for our students is really important, because while they might be focused on one particular area, they might find something that is of interest to them as they move through school. So if there's anyone that has any questions later on about some of the programs that we run in terms of our learning and teaching, I'll be hanging around afterwards, so please come and touch base. But I'll hand over to Mr. Lee McDonald, who runs our wellbeing program here at school.
Thank you, Luke. Yeah, so my name's Lee McDonald and I'm the Student Wellbeing Leader here at St Brigid's. And I'm here to talk to you about some of the things that we do to support your child's wellbeing. As you would agree, I'm sure that if a child's wellbeing needs is not being met, their learning is not going to be as good either. So we're here to provide some support for your child so that they can learn to the best of their ability. And we adopt a whole school culture on that, whole school approach. So we have lots of layers of support, beginning in the classroom, our classroom teachers, our LSOs, our office staff, are all wellbeing leaders, we see them as, all right, and they're all there to care for your child. But we do have other layers of support on top of that. So the teacher advisor program, so our homerooms are in vertical, so we have a vertical structure where there's some year 7 students, year 8s, right through to year 12. So they get connections to students right across the school and some mentors in the senior levels as well. So when your child starts at St Brigid's, they're allocated a homeroom, and the idea is that they have that homeroom and that homeroom teacher for their schooling years. Right, and that way they can develop some relationships with those students. The TA can develop relationships with the families as well over their schooling years. Right, and that might come to, if we've got siblings in the same homeroom, they might be dealing with that TA over the course of 10, 12 years. All right, so you can see that we can really develop those relationships, which are important. On top of that, we have the student wellbeing team, which I lead. So we've got 5 members of that team. We've got teaching staff and non-teaching staff, as well as a school counsellor who's here 3 days a week at the moment. So for that extra support for your students if they need it. And we're also really proud of the connections we have built with external agencies, such as Headspace and Uniting in the town as well. So we do offer those extended support for the wellbeing. We try and be proactive, so we're not just sitting back, waiting for something to go wrong and then trying to support your child. So we are trying to be proactive, and one of the ways we do that is through our pastoral care program. So all students go through and they learn explicitly taught skills around emotional literacy, their personal strengths, resilience, stress management and so on. And we also deliver that respectful relationships program, which is obviously a really important topic at the moment. We have a partnership with Resilience Project, all right, so we use their curriculum throughout those lessons. So we think that develops our well-rounded student, right, who can deal with the ups and downs that come towards them. Over the last couple of years, we've embarked on a school-wide positive behaviour support program, and that's a framework that helps develop positive, safe, supportive learning cultures. It's got some of the benefits up there. I won't read all through those, but what we've basically done with the students, so we're really big on student voice. So with those students, we developed a set of behaviour expectations, and from there, if a flow chart or a guideline for the staff to follow when a student is not meeting those expectations. Another thing that we've just started this term is acknowledging those students that always or most of the time develop or show those behaviour expectations. So we've got a framework that we follow to acknowledge those students who display that positive behaviour. And I think underneath your seats, or the end seats on both sides, there is an example of what we've developed in terms of the school-wide positive behaviour. So there's a matrix of all our expected behaviours there, plus a couple of flow charts that acknowledges the behaviour of the students. So something to have a look at before you leave.
Have a look and then pass them down the line if there's not everybody's got a copy.
So pretty much every student was consulted on those over the last year or two. And obviously, that's a bit small to see there, but you can have a look at that one as it gets passed around. Another thing that we do as a proactive strategy is use a program called Pulse. So each week, students check in. So they're asked a question of how they're feeling today. And you can see there's some of the responses that we've had. So over the year, this is a pretty recent, just last week, I think. Over the year, the students who have been feeling great, feeling positive, or some that need some help. All right, and we don't see that as a negative. We want our students to be able to reach out for help when they need it, because we think that's really important. So they can do that using this app discreetly. They can ask for a staff member to follow up with that student just to see and check in to see how things are going. So that part, we can see their results, but then they also, as part of this program, answer some questions on the school culture, which are anonymous. And it gives us some data to look to see what's working, what's not around the school. And again, this is current data. So we can see most of the things are looking pretty good, and that 7 or 8 out of 10, which we think is pretty good. We're always trying to improve on that. But the healthy ones, around 7 out of 10. So we might delve a little bit further into that. And in the past, we've used that. One of the questions might be, are you eating breakfast? And might be a high portion of students who are not. So then we've started Breakfast Club in the past. So this can inform some of the things that we do with our wellbeing. And another great thing with the Pulse is they can reach out to other students and staff and send them some gratitude. All right, so over 1,100 times someone's receiving a message in our school that's thanking them for something. All right, and we're really proud of doing that. So things like kindliness, strength, fairness, all those sorts of things, and teachers can send each other. Teachers do this Pulse as well. We all check in as well, and we can reach out for help as well. So we try and model that to our students. This leads on to our commendations. So we try and recognise our students if they're doing well in academic competitions, or they're doing some community service or leadership or things in the arts and cultural experiences. Sports is a big one, and also the positive behaviour, which is the flow chart that's being passed around. So students can receive these commendations, so we put them on our system. They receive points and they go towards badges, and when they get to a certain amount of badges, a certain amount of points, they receive these badges at assemblies, so we can recognise those students who are doing that little bit extra. But I can safely say, if you do decide to send your child to St Brigid's, that's a bit of a snapshot of some of the things that we do here in terms of wellbeing. But it's not the only things. We're constantly trying to improve and do things that can support your child's wellbeing. So I will now hand over to Bridie Hutchison, who's our sports coordinator, among other things.
Thanks, Lee. Sorry, I'm just going to jump ahead to our... So at St Brigid's College here, we represent ourselves across a number of sports right throughout the region. So we're a member of the State School Victoria, and with that we get entry into what's called the Black Rangers Carnivals, and then onto Greater Western, and then onto state level. So we survey the students throughout the year to see which sports they would like to participate in. We conduct trainings at lunchtimes, and then we go off to participate in different sports. So during last year, we progressed to the state titles in 4 different sports, which was amazing for our students. And through that, we were actually named as the 2023 sporting school for this region last year through the Wimmera Regional Sports Assembly, which was a great achievement for our students. We obviously hold our school cross country, we have swimming days, and we also have our athletics days as well, which all students across the whole entire school are asked to participate in and have an opportunity. Along with that, because we have a lot of junior children being represented through our school, we actually ask students to stand up and become coaches and mentors and come along to do the umpiring when we go to school. So not only do they have the chance to participate in sport, but they have the chance to become mentors and leaders across the whole entire community as well. Obviously, we have students who like to participate in individual sports, so we really support them and encourage them to enter into different sporting events right across the state. So when we get information about events that they could go into, whether it be field and game for those students who are into their shooting, or whether it's somebody who likes to do swimming, we encourage them to enter into different carnivals that are outside of our region as well. So we really support all of our students. And I'm around afterwards if you would like to ask any questions about the sport, but I'll keep moving through. Along with the sports, I have a lot of involvement with our camps and retreats that happen here at St Brigid's College. Our camps and retreats are a part of your school fees. So when you enrol, it becomes a part of your school fees. And there are opportunities for our young people here to foster relationships with their peers and to grow and develop. So if you are to come to St Brigid's next year, then your student will head across to Robe in week 3 of term 1. And we go so early in the year so that students get to meet each other, and we play a lot of games and activities so that they get to bond and become a group as one. It's a really fantastic opportunity for your child to go across there. In Year 8, we head over to to Rose's Gap, and that's more about challenging themselves. So we put them out of their comfort zone with high ropes, abseiling, rock climbing, canoeing, etc. In Year 9, we have developed a new camp which heads down to Anglesea. This camp is quite adventure-based as well, and students have the chance to experience activities that they don't get to do very regularly here. So out mountain buck riding, sea kayaking, and different adventure activities that we don't get the opportunity to do all the time. In Year 11, our students go away on a social justice retreat. So that we head to Melbourne for 3 days, catching public transport the whole entire time. They go out and they spend time with the Salvation Army. They go on the Big Issue, and we try to include lots of cultural and art experiences in that as well. So this year we're going off to the Loom, and based on popular demand, we're actually going to try and fit in a football game as well for a number of students who are pretty keen to head there. So we try to get out and about and use public transport and get the students to become really familiar with Melbourne and there. And our final camp or retreat is in Year 12. This is a really important retreat for our Year 12 students. This is all about their own self-journey, their self-growth. And we spend 3 days in Halls Gap where they get to do goal setting and they get to set their agenda for what they want to achieve out of Year 12. We also ask them about what they would like to see as leadership and how they would like to see their Year 12 become, and how they would like to then move on in the future from Year 12. So it's really important. We revisit that and all of those goals that we set throughout the year during lunchtimes and some evenings as well with our Year 12 students, just to make sure that they're tracking along really well during Year 12. So that's sort of a really small snapshot, but if you would like to ask any questions, please come and see me afterwards. But I'll hand you now back to Mr. Raven for our building works.
Thanks, Brigid. We're almost at the end, so you can breathe a sigh of relief there. I won't keep you any longer than we need to. As I said earlier, it's just a snapshot tonight, and you can delve into it in depth later on. If you've been on any of the tours today, you would have seen the design that we have for our $3 million upgrade for student facilities. That's gone out to tender this week. The building will begin mid-year and will be completed by the start of next year. So we're putting in new facilities, toilet facilities, bathroom facilities for the students. We're putting in a new student cafe, a new student lounge. We're putting in a new foods room as well. So it's about focusing on the students and the student comfort, and that's a wonderful program that we've got up and running there. So that's exciting. Hopefully, if you've had a tour, you would have seen that we've done a lot of refurbishment over the last few years, and for a small school, I think we're very well resourced. Just quickly touch on the laptop program. So last year, through consultation with students, parents and teachers, we realised that things like Chromebook and the iPad probably aren't cutting it now as we move into a higher tech environment, artificial intelligence, all of those sort of things. So this year in 2024, we introduced a new laptop. Now that laptop program will remain with the laptop will remain with your student for the first 3 years. You families through their global fee contribute a portion each of those 3 years, but the school also contributes towards the overall cost of that laptop. So it's quite manageable, and also your student then will have access to the best technology and more powerful technology than an iPad or a Chromebook. So that's the information around that is in the prospectus, and again, if you've got any question, but that's part of our all-inclusive fee. We're not coming at you asking for additional money for laptops and those sort of things. By the time students get to Year 10, because they start to choose different subjects, electives, go down different pathways, it's a BYO program from Year 10 onwards, where students have the self-determination to bring whatever technology they believe is best suited for their education. I touched briefly on fees and scholarships, so I won't go into this, but as I said, we believe that when you compare us to other schools that charge levies for various different programs and activities. Our low fee, I believe, is competitive and it's all inclusive. So it covers everything. You're not being asked to put your hand in your pocket every fortnight, etc. So we are an inclusive school. We'll ensure that families who seek a Catholic education receive it. So I always say, never let the low fee be a barrier. Don't let it be a barrier. If you want your child educated at St Brigid's, we can make it happen. Come and talk to us. You can contact our finance department and talk confidentially. The global fee is invoiced at the start of the year, but most families pay it off on regular payments throughout the year in a payment schedule. Again, we can assist with adjustments to that. Just come and talk to us, communicate, that's what it's all about. Also scholarships, I'll draw your attention, we do offer a number of scholarships, either covering full fee or 50% of the fee. So your students, you may be interested in applying for some of the scholarships. All of that information's on our webpage. And application through our website as it says there. All right, that's it's been a long day for me, and it's been a busy day for me, which is a good sort of tired. As I lay down on my pillow tonight, I'll go to sleep knowing there's been a successful day. We've had good numbers. We're hoping to have our enrolments for Year 7 finalised by the end of Term 2. So that's not too far away. And that way we can start to plan our staffing, but also more importantly, we can start to put in place structures and supports for your son or daughter so that their transition to us from primary school will be as smooth as possible. We have transition days coming up, etc. And we've already received quite a few enrolments for next year too. So we're quite excited how things are going. I think people are beginning to see the value proposition that St Brigid's can offer. And I'm very proud of the school, and I'd love you to be part of our community. So thanks everybody for your participation tonight. Thanks for your attendance tonight. And also, as I said, there are staff out there. If you need to talk further, I'll be here. There'll be people you can talk to. Or if you need to get home, which is fully understandable, you can call reception during the week, during the next couple of weeks, to answer any of your questions. But I'd love to see more of you and continue the conversation. So thanks everybody. That concludes the night. All right, there's bickies and drink water if you want to get some refreshments on your way out.